Zest, KeeN, 2021 GSL Season 3, Codex. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live, 2021 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to eliminate the first player in the round of 16 here. It's going to be SpeCial or KeeN. The winner does move on to the final match, but it's against Trap, and Trap just does not seem to have a problem against Terrans no matter who he's against.
Yeah. But, you know, I think SpeCial looked all right against him. I think KeeN looked all right against Zest. We'll see who makes it up, though. I think overall for Terran versus Terran, I think KeeN's TVT is pretty good.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have a problem with his Terran versus Terran, but I think SpeCial is almost a specialist in the matchup. He's a really, really strong Terran versus Terran, especially if we get into mech games, which could happen. Romanticide to start, I mean, that's a very solid map for mech. I would not be surprised to see SpeCial go mech here, and I think he can outplay KeeN in that type of situation, although KeeN is not bad at it, I think.
Right. Let's get this going, man. SpeCial, a very strong TVTer, but KeeN's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. And again, man, going up against Trap next. Let's see who manages to step up to the plate against Trap.
Storm Gaming, SpeCial. Africa Freaks, KeeN.
All right, I'm excited for this map in particular.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it is a very solid map for mech overall. I think SpeCial will go mech here with KeeN. I've seen him go mech here, but I think it's a little bit more wide open, especially with the double gas. KeeN with the double gas, all right. And we'll see how this goes down. So KeeN actually has a pretty decent winning record over SpeCial.
Yeah, this is it's going to be fun. I do feel like SpeCial might be like a little bit of a favorite here, even though those results would say otherwise. I feel like SpeCial's been in really good shape TVT lately.
I would agree. I think he's just very good at the matchup in general. Especially if I think mech is his specialty in the matchup too. He's just particularly good at that, and as long as he does not panic with it. Because I have seen some SpeCial mech TVTs where he has a big advantage and then he just like attacks with a bunch of tanks.
I've seen that as well.
You just, the thing is, that's like a universal thing for Terran players, where when they go mech, it's like there always comes this moment where like you win this big battle and you're like, I'm gonna go counterattack, and it's like you just attack with only tanks, and it's like, okay, listen, you need stuff with tanks always.
Yeah, tanks alone are actually terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you can put them into a decent defensive position, but like if you're attacking your opponents, like you're begging to lose the game. Just need those reinforcements. Well, the command center goes down here for KeeN. Let's see. Yeah, SpeCial throws his down as well, just seconds later. So very mirrored builds on both sides.
Yeah, it should be a fairly slow start here. There's not a whole lot you can do with just Reapers and each person getting a command center for now.
Starport coming up for KeeN. We should be seeing that in just a second.
We're going to see if Artosis is right and that the mech is going to come here. We'll know soon enough.
Yeah, very likely we'll see some Ravens first, and then the true decision. But I think that's what we're going to end up seeing.
Yeah, this is going to size up to be a fairly conservative game to start things off. Nobody wants to do any kind of rushes or anything crazy. This should be a pretty good TVT. It is nice that we got to break away from the PVTs. I know it was possible for us to just have PVTs all day, but...
Well, that PvP series actually was quite a treat.
That was one of the best PvP series I've seen in a while.
Yeah, we've actually had a couple good ones this year, to be honest. Like, the classic Zest one was quite good and quite close, and Yeah, we've had a few, but definitely a good one there. Now,
I've always been a little bit surprised by people's kind of lack of interest in mirror matchups. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people that just don't seem to want to have a mirror matchup. And I don't know if that's how big that actually is, or if it's just if you have a Terran and a Zerg or a Protoss and a Zerg or whatever, you have the interest of both the Protosses and the Zergs. You know what I'm saying?
I think that that's
instead of
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's aspects of mirror matchups that people don't like the aggression in ZVZ and PvP, and then the turtling in TVT.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like people find them a little bit less interesting.
I think the mirror matchups in StarCraft 2 are a little bit more engaging than the ones in StarCraft 1. To be honest,
absolutely.
I mean that was one of the big things from StarCraft 2 that really.
I think
the one-dimensionality of like Zerg versus Zerg, for instance, even though there's a lot to it, I know it's a very hard bit. I mean, there's so many restrictions.
ZVZ is better in StarCraft 2, straight up.
For sure.
Straight up. And I think PvP,
I think it's
for the most part, is better too.
And TVT definitely better in StarCraft 2.
Well, that, Tasis, is where you and I are not going to be friends anymore. But
all right, well, me and the rest of the world are on this page, Artosis. TVT and StarCraft 1 kill me. Nice turret thrown down here.
Yeah, not bad there. Actually put some serious damage onto that medevac, but good micro from KeeN. And he's going to lose this. That block was sick.
That was insane, man. Oh, it died anyways.
I'm not even sure
I don't even know what killed
it.
It just like self-destructed.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but okay, so he cleans it up.
That was so weird.
Yeah, no, I guess pretty close to even overall there on the trades. One thing to mention is that SpeCial is squeezing out a third Raven. So he's definitely ahead in that Raven production. This is something actually while he was casting with me that he really went into great depth on in Terran vs. Terran. About how some of these builds where you get that quick medevac and whatnot, you're going to be a little bit slower in the Ravens. And anytime that you can squeeze in the third Raven, that's going to be very, very nice. Because the Raven is just such a strong unit in this matchup, right? With disables and all that. Auto turret harassment. SpeCial jumps up with 3 Reapers now. Going to do a little bit of counter harassment. Which is, I mean, he's killing a few, and these don't scale particularly well. He gets a little bit of scouting done as well. And the amount of medevacs being made, this looks... Well, first off, I think KeeN is definitely not going mech here. That is a lot of Marines to be loading up. And he has.
Is just going to get spotted by that Marine down there? That's what I'm wondering.
If he sees 3 medevacs coming in, that is
pretty
a huge,
big, man.
Huge find for SpeCial.
Does the medevac have more vision range than the Marine? I actually don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it's
just
probably even.
I know. I think the medevac has slightly more.
It could be
wrong.
Could be.
I just wonder if you could like see a Marine and actually turn around immediately, or if you know. So he didn't spot this. He's going to scan the Nat here.
Okay, he flies over the turret into the main base.
Oh
so
my God, these tanks are going to siege up.
He has 3 Ravens, though. He can disable the tanks.
That is true, but where's the... Oh, I'm sorry, the tank is just underneath this overlay here.
Yeah, he just needs to get right up here. Throws down some auto turrets, and this looks...
This is getting
This is a pretty good cleanup.
SpeCial just completely closing this out, no problem.
Yeah,
wow, all right.
That was a super solid hold, and that shows the power of the Ravens, right?
And I'll tell you what, man, SpeCial now with his third base up, and
yeah,
KeeN doesn't have a third base up right now.
Yeah,
this is pretty nice.
And SpeCial's going mech, and
yeah.
KeeN is not. I mean, that's KeeN does not really have a big standing army. He's adding his barracks now, but there's like more workers for SpeCial as well. This game looks very good for SpeCial right now, but it's obviously not over or anything like that. We actually have a lot of Vikings out for KeeN. It'll be interesting to see if he stays on that Viking production.
Yeah.
And maybe tries to go into Sky Terran from here. Like, you have to go bio first, right? Like, but a lot of times what you do against mech, in my opinion, I think that this is a better way to play bio against mech. Because if you play just pure bio against mech, it's up to the mech player to screw up, and you have to, not only do they have to screw up, you have to capitalize on it when they screw up.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's really hard to play the mech like perfectly and not screw up, but like, I think switching into Sky Terran, like getting that big map control, getting a bunch of bases, and adding a bunch of starports and having that Viking control, getting into Liberators if need be, battlecruisers if need be, whatever. In my opinion, that's the better way to play as the bio player here. So we'll see if he does that, because he has put a lot of money into Vikings thus far.
One Liberator coming across the map. We've got the 2 armories about to finish here for SpeCial. SpeCial has no real motivation to try to move out now. Mech, it takes a while to build up, but when you've got it, it's extremely powerful. Scanning just to kind of confirm where the army is at.
Yeah, it's a great scan as well, just seeing what the army is right now. Special's Liberator, not going to do very much. This one as well.
Yeah.
If only Liberators could land. Oh, look at that.
Can't believe that got away. So the fourth base is going to come up here, but SpeCial's going to be able to match it here with the fourth base of his own. You know, the thing about being a good mech player is if you kind of, it sounds weird, but like don't do anything, you're in good shape as long as you're defended correctly. There's no need to rush out and try to do something. That really is a pressure that's put onto the bio player. Now, when you have the fourth base on this map, now you have one dilemma as the mech defending player is that there's 2 spots you can be hit. There's also possibility of drops to the main, but let's just focus on that for now because it looks like this is just going to be a push over here. Is he going to be ready? Is he going to be in position to try to deal with this drop? A scan, he's going to turn around.
Yeah, he has the double sensor tower as well, so it's really difficult for him to actually get in here, especially even has some floating stuff up to the north.
Certainly hard to be surprised here.
Yeah, yeah. This.
Well, hold on, I see one tank. Well, now I see a disabled tank.
Yeah, and he's not going to lose this base. Like, it's a decent position for KeeN where he's taken, but SpeCial does have more Vikings. So with that air control, he can just push his Liberators in and regain the area.
Nicely done here. And now these Vikings can come in here. Oh, he shoots down the Raven. Beautifully done.
Yeah, and getting rid of the Liberator, of course, is going to prolong that push slightly, but he decides to back up, and it's a great call to back up. Also, I love that barracks there to give extra sight because you look at the little ring on the minimap and you're like, okay, this is how I can get in there at maximum speed when he spots me, but the barracks screws up your math on those drops.
Right.
Look at this, 91 SCVs for SpeCial.
That's insane, man. Is he going to pick up more stuff over here? No, he's going to unload this.
TY in the military right now, his eyes just open wide. He's like, what's happening? Someone has so many SCVs.
I said something in the force.
My student.
Okay, he's coming up.
Yeah, look at this. This is a strong move from KeeN. I really like it. But the Siege Tanks come up. Let's see if KeeN can actually trade well here.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
is he just going to chew his whole way through here?
He kind of did.
I guess
he kind of did.
KeeN just wins the game.
Yeah, busts through. SpeCial just not quite defended well enough there. So, I mean, that was some killer instinct from KeeN.
KeeN faked out attacking that fourth a couple times. There were just not enough tanks to defend the third base. It's funny. I mean, on paper, the mech player can survive that, but if you're not configured correctly, then that's what you get.
Yeah, you can see SpeCial's not too happy about that.
Yeah.
He was in a pretty good spot. He was just a little bit low on the units that he needed there to hold on.
Right.
And the thing is, if you weather the storm and get to your critical mass, suddenly the bio player can't make moves like that at all anymore.
Right.
But KeeN with the strong win. We're going to go into 2,000 atmospheres next.
We need to see a better game here from SpeCial.
Yeah.
KeeN really, you know, sometimes you have players, even though I feel like SpeCial is a better TVTer, I do feel like KeeN has all his SpeCial's numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, KeeN is pretty strong TVT as well, I think.
Yeah,
you know,
he is. Guys, we are ready for game 2. Again, the loser is the first player knocked out of Codex.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Storm Gaming, SpeCial. Africa Freaks, KeeN.
Okay, back into game 2 here. Not very often that you see a player on 4 bases meching, and the guy that's going bio tank, the bio tank player pushes in and kills him. It's actually not normally how TVT ends. It's kind of almost the opposite of, you know, if anything, the guy who's trying to crack open the mech player, a lot of times it backfires. There's always been, you know, in the entire history of all of StarCraft, right? I mean, StarCraft 1 came out in 1998, right? Or 99? Something like
Yeah,
that?
98, I think.
Ever since vanilla StarCraft, even pre-Brood War, the Siege tank has always been this thing that you have to be careful with how you interact with if you're dealing with a player that has a lot of them. Because, you know, first of all, it can fire further than it can see. And so if they're in a good spot where the tanks are sieged in the right position and they have vision, if you overstep or misstep, you just eat an insane amount of damage.
Yeah.
And that's never changed in the game. There's not like a situation where people are like, oh, we know how to stop that now. Not really. Not in any kind of easy fashion.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially now that we've had, I want to say 23 or 24 years of StarCraft, the people are very good at really capitalizing on that advantage. But I think that KeeN did a pretty stellar job of basically faking out that fourth base like over and over and over and over. And then really, and it's funny because like when you see the fight of the stim units come in and the tanks are firing and there's all this stuff trying to come in front to protect the tanks, it really does go, it's really an either or with the fight. You can't tell right when it starts, but if they get there and they just shoot down just enough of the tanks, and there's anything left over there for the bio player, then suddenly the damage spikes exponentially, and that's it. Or the other way around, all the tank shots connect, that most of the tanks are hit, but they're not killed, and then bam, the attacker player's army is gone.
Well, one of the big things, and you kind of mentioned this in what you were just saying, is the great range of the siege tank and the damage output. That first volley is the most important thing with siege tanks, basically.
Right.
So when you're in a position like SpeCial is there, where you have the sensor towers up and KeeN is faking out both sides, and you're moving back and forth, if he can get the first volley, then he is favored there. Right. Like if you have to run your siege tanks up and you're chasing him down and like then sieging and he's already there, that's very different than being siege and having him run in.
Yeah.
If he's running in and you're already sieged, you win the battle pretty easily.
It's kind of
if you are sieging during the battle, it becomes way harder to deal with.
It's one of these things, you know, we're so used to it, it can be easy to kind of forget and not appreciate how well designed the siege tank was when the game, 23 years ago, when the game first came out, that they knew that siege mode was going to be powerful, so they gave it like this little animation, both for sieging and unsieging. And, you know, this window of time, because once it's set up, you know, especially if it's in a good spot, it's basically permanently very difficult to deal with. So to give it this moment where it's basically vulnerable is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I guess the speed of that in general. Like, imagine if there was an upgrade to make that quicker. Oh my God, there was. It was called the tank vac.
Yeah, well, I remember having very weird feelings when I saw that trailer, where I saw a medevac just pick up a tank, and I'm like, uh-oh. Okay,
that was such a magical
StarCraft 2 might get a little bit weird.
Hold on here. We have a lot of Hellions coming in. Ooh, that was a good split by SpeCial there at the last second. Gets here on top of the siege tank, and this is actually a fantastic move. Look at that. Comes up to repair, but then starting to pull out with those Hellions. That was a really interesting attack from
really
SpeCial.
Shows you
very
how long
well
it takes
microed.
How long it takes for Hellions to kill a tank.
Yeah.
Tank is very not flammable.
That was cool, though. I liked that quite a bit.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
4 kills.
Yeah, during that. Beautifully done by SpeCial. Cool opening with the Hellions, the micro that he had there. He kind of forced that drop to come back to deal with his Hellions and then gets the auto turret down. Definitely SpeCial added advantage after all that.
Can we be friends? Forget about this war. Now, you know, we're having the game continue to build up economically, not so much with any kind of real attack coming here. They're both getting a third command center.
Oh, look at that. He's waiting to kill it off with the Cyclone. They aren't really friends. He was tricking him. Another auto turret comes down here at the natural.
Uh-oh. This Raven can't get away. It's not fast enough. Beautifully done there. And I think KeeN can just pick that up and head back out. Oh, he's even going to win that fight with a Cyclone. That's funny.
Well, there's a medevac there, right? So he can break the lock on. Kind of nice. All right, so well handled by KeeN, I would say, overall, but SpeCial definitely has that advantage.
SpeCial is not meching in this game, by the way. He's going to go for bio, which he's perfectly capable of, you know, playing that out as well.
Yeah, he plays a solid bio game.
But it's going to be the same story here for KeeN. He's going bio as well. Bio versus bio armies, again, another funny thing. and I think this was a pretty big improvement from StarCraft 1 when they got this in StarCraft 2, was like infantry are actually viable. And so you could, you know, depending on the angle, you can really win a fight pretty one-sidedly. You know, it's all about having the right arc, stimming in there. Can you get there before siege mode? And so, you know, you can have a game that looks completely even, and then in like 4 seconds, one guy completely wins and it ends.
So SpeCial getting out-microed a little bit by KeeN in the center of the map. He still does have the higher SCV count. He has a decent army here. 3 Ravens over on KeeN's side, SpeCial with only 2. So that is just a slight disadvantage that he has. KeeN coming around. Uh-oh.
This is what we're talking about. Okay.
Oh, I thought he might have jumped actually on that. I think KeeN could
some
have
of the other
jumped
pros
on
in this tournament probably would have actually.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Here we go.
Bjorn would have been all over that. All right. Here he goes. He's actually coming in. Throws down some disables. A couple auto turrets as well.
KeeN is just going to win this fight.
It seems like he's going to be able to pick off the Raven, which is nice. And he actually has the Viking advantage. So SpeCial gets some value out of it overall, but he's pretty sparse on the units here. Yeah, has to land as these units are coming in. SCV's getting pulled forward. These Vikings actually being true heroes here.
Yeah, nicely done here. The SCVs have to pull away. Great auto.
That was a good hold.
SpeCial. I'm actually kind of surprised KeeN went in there. You were mentioning this earlier. Can't remember if it was this game or the game before, but like tanks alone aren't going to cut it. They never do. And there
tanks alone died at everything.
Yeah, it's actually kind of
like
funny.
literally SCVs even, because you know. Well, I mean, if you keep them on siege and you micro and stuff, yeah, but there's always other stuff there too. So like siege. Well, this is true of every long-ranged unit. Lurkers. You don't want Lurkers to be alone. Broodlords, you don't want Broodlords to be alone.
Right.
Colossus, you don't want Colossus to be alone.
Yeah, they're not these
Disruptors, siege tanks, all the very, very long-range units need support with them. Except the old Tempest. Like when the Tempest first came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you just make like 15 of those, just fly them around, you're fine. But other than that.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit surprised KeeN tried to push the issue. I think when he killed those tanks, he should have just unsieged and back up.
Yeah, you see like one tank there and you're like, ooh, let's do it. But it's like, well, he lands a couple Vikings, he gets the splash, SCVs
just the fact
out.
that there's SCVs there means you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so, a bit of a trade there. SpeCial is propelling himself ahead.
Yeah, SpeCial looking strong. Looking strong. Has a slightly bigger army. Had that 3rd up quicker. He is getting his 4th now. We do not see KeeN starting a 4th command center as of yet. The double Raven play going to be very powerful. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Disables come down. Siege is up and forces the lift. Going to pick off both of the siege tanks while disabled. Trying to pick off some of these flying units as well. Does have to pull back. That was a great move, though, by SpeCial. And you can see just, again, the power of those Ravens.
Okay. The orbital is going to go down here towards the bottom center. KeeN is going to eventually not have much more opportunities to do anything here if this keeps up.
And SpeCial doing another push here, right on top of the tanks in siege mode.
Yeah, this
and
is
I think he does win it.
Yeah, I think he wins this game, actually.
Definitely looks that way. He's up 20 army supply at this point.
He can just go to that 3rd base now. Deny that. Ooh, hold on.
All right, SCV's coming, but there are Marines here. It's not just tanks. So he is going to be losing a
Dude,
hell of a lot of his economy.
The micro is so good here from SpeCial, honestly. I know that KeeN's going to win this fight in the long run, but on...
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give me more of that. But yeah, he loses a lot of SCVs there.
Yeah.
So his economy definitely badly hurt.
I mean, this is 4 bases to barely 3 bases. So he's going to scan. I think that SpeCial's going to go in here and try to finish him off.
Yeah, I think as long as SpeCial applies pressure here.
Yeah, correctly.
Yeah, KeeN has to kind of zone him out and keep his army over here. It's going to be hard for KeeN to sneak out with any damage, but he needs to. He's actually making 2 Liberators right now. I believe that's going to be his plan, is to send the Liberators around 1 to each side and see if he can't hurt the economy a little bit, get SpeCial to lay off. And
yeah, right now SpeCial's just clearing up a lot of these destructible rocks on the map. He basically wants to open this up so he can have a more of a beeline to attack through instead of trying to go through these valleys.
SpeCial taking his 5th base. That in and of itself, that's a funny thing about Terran versus Terran, right? Like expanding his pressure. Your opponent definitely needs to look at that and say, oh god, the economy is really getting out of control here. The bank of SpeCial, the supply of SpeCial is going to get really, really high up here shortly. So what do? He did send out those Liberators, I believe. SpeCial as well. So those will get caught relatively quickly. Oh, that's a cute one.
Yeah, that's a good little position. Look at that. Very hard to get any kind of side angle there to hit that. Ooh,
yeah,
backs up.
Ooh, so annoying to deal with.
Is he going to tear down these rocks?
KeeN going to do the same, though, with his Liberators. There's one. Oh, SpeCial saves this one. Nice. Decent damage there. Finds him unsieged. Gonna pick one off before it even shoots. The other one, ooh, has to spend an extra 8 Marines because he misses one shot there. And that is gonna allow KeeN to clean this up, I think.
Yeah, KeeN's fighting back pretty well.
And look at that.
SpeCial's got to be careful here because this is exactly how you start to lose, you know, an entire game here.
Well, those 2 Liberators, Tasteless, got 16 SCVs, which is really significant.
This is so annoying,
funny.
this 1 hit point Liberator.
Oh my god.
KeeN growing back out.
Yeah.
Now, SpeCial may be caught off guard if he pushes down here and like just, oh, hold on.
Oh, he's doing a crazy move. He is looking for a big drop right now. Yeah, just gonna unload here.
And
but
sort of a
SpeCial's close enough that that's not gonna work.
Yeah, this is going to be way too much here. KeeN going to get completely destroyed in this position.
KeeN's Liberator harassment and everything actually did a pretty good job and got SpeCial off his back for a moment. So it makes sense that he tried to make a really big move on the back of that because he's still a bit behind, but just did not work out.
But the game's not done yet. We'll have to see if he can actually survive any pressure from SpeCial now. I mean, that was a pretty big fight that SpeCial won, but it's basically his turn now to try to strike. And I think he's just going to go wherever SpeCial's position is the weakest and try to hit that.
SpeCial kind of roaming around here, 6 tanks with that bio army. This 3-3 going to be finishing relatively soon as well. This looks very hopeless for KeeN. It really looks like we're going to be going to game 4. This forces the lift. Incredibly painful for KeeN.
Yeah, this is rough. KeeN's been putting up a pretty good fight. I mean, he's been up against the ropes the entire time, but I think we're getting closer to, you know, there not being that many more opportunities here. SpeCial is just not stopping growing here. It's funny because we've talked a lot about SpeCial meching, but I always feel like he's so good at bio play.
Yeah. Well, meching is like, it can be very, very fragile, I think. Oh, look at this. KeeN actually taking a pretty good fight despite being down 2 upgrades, but has to turn around eventually. Corvid Reactor on the way for SpeCial, Tasteless. He's going Ravens, Tasteless.
He's making Ravens tasteless. Ooh. Okay, he's going to come in here and just shoot the tank down.
God, yeah, it's 1 tank. And he's got 3-3. Oh, well, with that much damage on your Marines, I don't know if that's the right move. But, oh, tries to power that down. No. KeeN has enough Marines there. The funny 1 Liberator pushing tanks back. KeeN right now down about 20 army supply. Down in SCVs as well.
Okay, can he actually slip in here again? He's going to go for it. Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
SpeCial, big overextension.
Yeah, he's
I was almost confused
lot
when that happened because I thought this already looks like it's not going to work, but maybe I'm not understanding something here. By the way, big drop in the main. Actually, little drop in the main.
It's the opposite of what you said.
You're totally wrong, you bad caster.
But yeah, it's like it almost feels like SpeCial's getting impatient trying to end it.
Yeah.
Because he is really far ahead. Oh, well,
big unload here.
Yeah, that's a big moment. And KeeN's counter can't really do anything. SpeCial has so many units at home as well. He clears all the tanks there. Look at this. The Marines get right in on top of everything. Oh, the armor shred as well. GG.
Hell yeah. Special wins game 2. We're going to go to game 3 now.
All right. That's what I want to see.
Very close match so far.
Seriously. Very close night. Was the third map Oxide or Lightshade? For some reason, my brain is not giving it to me.
I can't remember. Okay. We're going to find out in a second. Don't you worry your little head, Artosis. We're going to find out. Good to see SpeCial able to bounce back there.
Lightshade, yeah.
Again, this is the last Code S of the year, guys. I mean, you know, nobody wants to get eliminated.
No, certainly not. SpeCial, yeah, it looks like he wants to go pee.
Or poo. You don't know. Don't pretend you know.
Or maybe just splash some water on his face, really. You know? Just get up and stretch a little bit. That game 1, I think, was a very disappointing one. He played really well in game 2, brought it back.
He might just want to go into downward dog for a little bit.
Do a power pose, perhaps?
Do one of these.
Yeah.
That's a power pose.
Got to make yourself big if you want to beat KeeN.
That's
so
right.
You got to scare him.
Before the cast, I'm usually really afraid that my analysis is going to be wrong, so I stand like this for 10 minutes. My power pose.
Does it help?
No. No, not at all. So, yeah, I mean, we'll give SpeCial the break that he wanted. I don't think he should go mech.
I think he don't think he should go mech?
I said it.
Okay.
Am I wrong? I'm going to get back in my power pose.
I think just whatever he prepped for the map, like, I think is totally fine. Like, I really think he can play either one. I mean, Romanticide is basically the best map for mech, in my opinion. So if he's losing there, maybe you're right. Maybe he just stays on the bio play and tries to win like that. Obviously, we saw that his engagements with the Ravens are really, really strong. He knows exactly. Like, that's actually one of the things that really struck me when I was talking with him and casting with him. The TVTs is the way he speaks about the Raven and, like, the power of it and, like, what he's trying to do. He has really clear plans and ideas about what he wants that early game to look like Raven-wise.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it alters the game so much between the Auditor and the Disables on siege tanks. It's, like, just such a powerful tool.
Problem is for both these guys, again, Trap is waiting around the corner. Trap is so good.
He's all right.
Lightshade, you were right. Lightshade, more like right shade. You're so good, Artosis. Yeah, man. I want both these guys to advance. I kind of want SpeCial a little bit more.
Yeah, of course.
Guys, let's get this going.
KeeN's not my friend, man. I want SpeCial to advance.
Storm Gaming, SpeCial. Africa Freaks, KeeN.
All right. This is exciting, man. Game 3. And honestly, I think both these guys against Trap is going to be very interesting. We already saw SpeCial once, but I almost want SpeCial to try that BC build again on Romanticide. He was really close to really shutting down the attacks. And
well, it almost really worked, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes stuff just snowballs out of control just barely. Like, it starts with a little bit. I feel like that game reminded me a lot of the older Lingbane Hydra games against Protoss, where, like, the first attack would pick off some High Templars.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Protoss held, but you're like, ooh, he needed to keep those alive, and it just kind of keeps going like that, and then eventually just slaughters, right? And that's what Trap did there. He just barely...
Critical moment.
Yeah. So I would like to see that, but, I mean, Trap played pretty darn well against Zest. Some stuff went wrong, but he said KeeN said he knows how to play against Trap, so I guess we'll see. Anyways, someone's got to win, Tasteless.
That is one way to put it, man.
Dude, yeah.
These are wise words.
We've never not had the last match of the day. Because really, even if we skip that match, this would be the last match of the day. So it's like basically unstoppable.
It's kind of weird because, like, I was, when today started, I was super excited to cast SpeCial playing. I've hung out with him a little bit more since, he's now been the only foreigner that can play in GSL with the pandemic. He's the only guy who's getting his visa renewed here to stay here. I do look forward to the days where we're gonna have more people outside of Korea competing. You know.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait.
It was sort of the whole idea of the show. You know, to begin with, was this was going to be the StarCraft tournament, and we were going to have people come all over the world to compete.
Well, before the pandemic, we were having some great seasons with a lot of people over here trying out for it, and
yeah, there was like a little community of elite gamers. Yeah,
that was so fun, and yeah, I mean, I can't wait.
It's going to eventually come back, but
yep, and we will be ready.
Oh,
I'll tell you, I want to see Rainer and Clem out here playing GSL. Get Scarlet back out here.
We got to kidnap them, man.
I think
the
we
GSL
we
Black
need
Hawk helicopters come down over in the middle of the night, put a bag over their head, kidnap them, bring them back over here.
Yeah. Korean Special Forces, send them in.
That's right, yeah.
It's like actually TY in the helicopter.
Yeah. They're screaming.
Zest drops down with a knife in his teeth and covered in body paint. He's like basically naked.
They're screaming, they're crying, and then we take the bag off their head and they're in the studio. They're like, oh.
They're like, I'm sorry for rushing you in that tournament, Zest. He's like, no, I'm in the military now. I'm just here to take you to Korea.
That's right. But you know, I worry for SpeCial now because I don't think he can get out. If you know, that was kind of the big surprise is that Trap lost to Zest. Where like Zest is. I think somebody who can lose in a PvT.
He is, but he also has some factors of his play that are a little bit more dangerous than Trap.
Sure.
Trap is actually, Trap does a good job of randomizing his play, so I don't want to shoehorn him into Stats' spot.
Right.
Because he's almost in between the two, right? In between like a Zest and a Stats, but which actually I think makes him even stronger, honestly, as much as I love Stats. But yeah. Just see. I think it's not impossible.
Oh!
Look at this. Double Cyclone in the medevac. So interesting from KeeN. SpeCial. Oh!
No, he's going to get that. That's, yeah.
Painful.
Wow.
Doesn't get much done, but at least he sees what's coming for him.
He's got 2 Cyclones out now, but I think KeeN's just going to back off.
If he sees what you're doing with that, I think it's a lot harder to pull it off. All right, the double Reaper Harass comes up. Ooh, a couple of CDs already. He's going to get a third.
Not bad. KeeN kind of running a clinic here. Even gets the scout off. Damn, dude. This is like a lot of different things at once. They're going right here for KeeN, man. He's really doing a great job. You know, it's not always that a game can end just on 2 bases, but sometimes it does happen. SpeCial's 3rd CC is done. The 3rd CC for KeeN just now starting, so KeeN should also have the ability to take some fights in the middle of the map since his resources have been spent more on making attacking units.
Yeah, but I think this isn't too bad for SpeCial. See, he's adding the Raxes, so you got your wish. No mech here. KeeN pushing forward. Does have a nice little army. Like that scan. Sieging up. Very annoying position.
Yeah, this is one of these spots that can, you know, to the untrained eye, it can be confusing. Like, what is he trying to do here? He can get close to the ramp and basically stop circulation there.
Yeah.
And also all the add-ons. And this is just one of the things about like the way the game's designed. The add-ons always point out to the right. And taking out the add-ons can stop a lot of upgrades and, of course, prevent other units from being made here.
He didn't bring the Raven far enough back to break the lockdown there. That is so painful. Loses that one Raven. The other one almost dies, but he does end up saving it. And yeah, KeeN has been extremely efficient here against SpeCial. SpeCial definitely at a deficit right now. It's mostly army, so I mean, it's not. He's not dead yet. Still has his chances. Repositioning with these tanks. These tanks are so low, Texas.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit scary here because if you don't stop this, if you don't put this fire out pretty quickly here, you're going to lose. Now, this is a lot of very brittle units.
Yeah, but and look at that Raven sitting there. That is going to ruin any plan that SpeCial has for breaking this.
He needs to, like, land a mule or get an SCV over here or something to repair this.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, throws down some auto turrets here. Yeah, that's just helping so much with his siege tanks. Okay, does blow up the 2 very badly hurt ones. 11 SCVs have fallen. SpeCial is down on 7 workers right now. Picks off the other tank. So, I mean, I think SpeCial broke it. That part is over now, But
right.
look at KeeN's position, up 10 workers and twice the army supply.
And he's got a third base that he just landed. SCVs have just been transferred. Stim's going to finish before for KeeN. It's going to finish first for KeeN is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Later for SpeCial. So SpeCial is going to be basically unable to do a whole lot on the map. Oh, I like this too.
He's just being relentlessly annoying.
Relentlessly annoying. I like that.
Yeah.
And he's basically, with map control, able to, you know, look around for any other fights. See, are you expanding? Are you doing anything? Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Vikings land.
It's kind of funny when auto turrets join the battle, try to figure out exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The Vikings all landing here for SpeCial.
Vikings literally just not fast on the ground. Not fast in the air. Vikings somehow just not very fast.
They're just not fast at all.
Yeah, they have like rockets. They have flames coming out of their back, but somehow a Marine on drugs goes faster.
Oof. So, loses a Viking there. It's especially in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't have enough to hold on to this base.
His defense is so brittle right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he's going to die, but if you know a couple bad engages and it's over. The CC will be lifted up.
With the stim, I think this is it. Tasteless.
Yeah, he's just gonna.
I think this is too much damage. Yeah.
GG. KeeN is gonna face off against Trap, the Protoss King himself.
All right. SpeCial put up a good fight, I think, overall in this TVT series. I think he's gonna especially regret game 1. And that one moment where he tried to pull his Ravens back with a lock on, that little push that KeeN did with the 2 siege tanks at the beginning.
Yeah.
He locked onto a Raven, and SpeCial pulled him to the left, and he just barely didn't get out of breaking the lockdown range and turned around. So he ended up losing a very high energy Raven. I think he got 1 auto turret off of it or something, and then it didn't kill the tanks. And things just kind of spiraled out of control there. I think if he had held that a little bit cleaner, maybe this game is still going on.
Short break, guys. We'll be right back.